Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak, and welcome everyone. I'm Zahira Lumpkin Stevens, coming to you from Georgia, uh, just east of downtown Atlanta. I'm an educator, and my focus is learning how to put my money to work for me, give it direction in a way that will give me my annual income monthly. This is why I'm so excited to be a part of this amazing team and community. On behalf of our entire team, I'm truly delighted to greet each of you to today's webinar, From Wish to Winning. Whether you're joining us from near or far, we honor you, your presence, your time, your intention, and your desire to grow. Family, today is about possibility, about turning hopes into plans and plans into meaningful results. Each of us arrives here with unique dreams, experiences, and strengths. This space has been created to be a safe, reliable, and informative environment where we can gain insight, inspiration, and practical tools to move closer to the freedom we all deserve. Over the next hour or so, we'll explore sound insights, encouraging perspectives, and simple steps. Yes, simple steps we can take to move our dreams forward with confidence. We invite you, if possible, to move to a quiet location, listen, reflect, take copious notes, and most of all, see and believe that what you hear today is absolutely possible for you. Thank you so much for being here. Let's move together from wish to winning. Up next, I have the pleasure to introduce another valued team member. This lady is an exceptional educator whose presence elevates every space she enters. She embodies purpose, resilience, and sincerity. I like to present to some and introduce to others Lajeen Jazzy Muhammad.
Greetings. I'm Najeen Muhammad. That's the hair I just told you. And my friends call me Jazzy. And I want to share with you a reminder of who you are being, a reminder of how you're showing up, and where your success lies. So I'm going to share my screen, and it's a little tiny video. So let me do that real quick. Start broadcast. Okay, here it is. Okay, easy. Take the easy road or the hard now and easy later. Okay, and you have your plan. Everybody has a plan. You know, your goals. Ah, I stopped that a little bit too soon. Right there, stop. Okay, so we have your plans. You make your choices. You're going to either, um, well, it's always a choice, okay? But the thing I wanted to stop right here is with your choice, no matter how it looks, no matter how it feels, remember that God is the greatest, okay? God got your back. So even though it looks like you're falling, there's no hope or anything like that, remember and stay on the road. God got me, okay? And kind of peeked it a little bit, okay? It's more than what you ever thought you wanted, okay? It starts off as a journey. You'll learn more and more as you go. And then you're successful. And then look, what's better, motivation or discipline? Just Don't be an overthinker. That was me in the past. Just do it and do it again and again and again and again. You can work hard trying to do that overthinking plan, or you can just keep doing it, keep working. Yeah, you can be very, very motivated, but then like, it gets tiring. But if you have that discipline, so consistency is the key. Keep going for your goals. Just hitting at it, hitting at it, hitting at it. And the beauty of it is we can always change. Say, did you see yourself in that? I did. That's why I wanted to share this with you. So welcome, welcome, welcome to make your annual income every month. It's so exciting. I'm so glad you're here. So let me introduce to you my brother. I've known him for 38 years. Whoa. And this brother's powerful, caring, and integrity is his mantra. So let me introduce to you Brother Keith Collins Muhammad. Brother Keith.
Can you all hear me now? I had something to say, I'm muted. But anyway, thank you, Jazzy, for that introduction. As I affectionately always call her Jazzy, y'all. I don't know how you got that name, sister, but it stuck. But anyway, my name is Keith Collins Muhammad, and I want to come here and share something with you that I think everybody, when you're looking at money, we all manage to a number. First of all, everything we do, we manage to a number. And what I have been, you know, learning and wanting to learn all my life was how to make money. Most of us think we know how to make money, but we don't. You're going to hear something today that I hope it hits you like it hit me. It knocked me off the wall. And I was standing where my mindset now is turning. I'm learning how you make money. Let me tell you, it has nothing to do with how much you make on a job, because that is a number that is finite. Whatever it is, 63 an hour, 85 an hour, most people are way below that. So, we manage to a number. However, um, the thing that hit me in all that we're going to see, you're going to hear something that, like I said, is going to knock you off the wall. But I want to say this real quick. We live and we have things that mess us up called paradigm. Now, when you are dealing with paradigms, and they really control us from babies all the way up. Baby is like a new paper or a new book that you've never read that has empty pages, or one that you're writing. There's nothing there. It's just an empty page. And you're dealing with the mindset of paradigm. I don't want to get in weeds with y'all, but man, I'm just telling you, maybe you hear it in my voice, the excitement of what you're gonna hear today. Okay. But a paradigm, we've seen the matrix, is a mental construct or a mental program that has almost exclusive control over our habitual habits. What type of habits? Habitual. And almost all of our behavior is habitual. And I say that because we learn from the cradle to the grave. But the subconscious is just like a empty sponge sucking stuff up. It doesn't think. Its only job is to self-execute. So I'm gonna leave it there and it'll be made, I think, very, very plain and clear, as we go on. So you heard $1 million a day. And the sister that just came before you and the one that came before her, they both know that song by verbatim, really. And when I was with her one day, I was like, I'm singing it, and all of a sudden she just blew up with it, $1 million a day. I am going to continue to move forward in this. But I want you guys to know that, you know, you're going to see some stuff. You're going to hear from this powerful brother that we all have affectionately come to know, called the Wealth Minister. And you're going to see something as it is presented called, later on after that, it's an acronym, MOSCA. I'm going to leave it like that, MOSCA. But as we continue and as I introduce this brother, I'm just saying some things, trying to not to get in the woods, but I just want you to know your mind when you see this. One thing that we talked about, instant income. Well, you're going to see a way that when you look at funding, see, we're offering, and you're going to see something that talks about sustainable, perpetual funding without the need for repayment, that has scale, has cash flow, and there's not a requirement for a credit score. See, we've all been hoodwinked about credit scores and whatnot all of our years. But the credit score has been a real proponent that has stopped a lot of people from doing a lot of things because you didn't have good credit. They never taught us about credit. But here's one that's going to make that obsolete when you see what we're going to present. And it could be done in really 10 hours. It's just the mental construct or the paradigm that keeps most people from looking at what they're seeing and saying, I don't believe that, because your paradigm has you stuck. You ever been stuck? We've heard that in a way when people are doing something and somebody said, you need to go and move. You keep trying to do the same thing. You stuck. Well, that's most of our lives in a paradigm. We're stuck. And if you are fired on a job, what do? You go get another one. If you fired on that one, you go get another one. If you fired on that one, you go get another. So, man, this thing is deep. It's deep. So I don't want to belabor the part, but I hope you guys really are intrigued in what is it that this instant income is about. You're gonna see, and I'm gonna tell you, your dreams about money, you're way too short. It's not enough. But $1 million a day, that's good. But what about $1 billion a day? Do you think it's possible? When you hear what you're going to hear, you're going to say, oh my goodness, it is possible. So I want to introduce to you all my brother. His name is, we know him affectionately now as the Wealth Minister, okay? It's my pleasure to introduce him because I've come to admire him because of his relentless work ethics and his efforts to improve himself. And this brother really, if you know him, he's a brother that truly wants for his brothers and his sisters what he wants for himself, okay? And, you know, that the name the Wealth Minister didn't just come by chance. I remember him telling me he had a vision. He said, Brother Keith, I had a vision. And the vision told me to call myself the Wealth Minister. Not the Minister of Wealth, but the Wealth Minister. And then I noticed everything changing. His emails, you know, his name that he never was saying Eric Touray. It was the Wealth Minister at gmail.com. So all this stuff came by his vision. So this vision has taken him to where he is. He's also been told, brother, you're going to go all over the world. So I'm looking at this right before my eyes. You know, brother's doing a phenomenal job at getting out in front, which one of his mentors told him, you got to get in front, get out in front. How do you do that? Step out. So this brother is affectionately called by us the Wealth Minister, and I want to bring him before you all and introduce him to some and present him to others. We call him the sponsor monster or whatever name you do. If you're going to try to outdo him, you're going to have your tongue hanging out. And that's in anything. I'm just saying the brother, he's a workaholic, but he loves what he do because only doing it gets it done, right? And whatever you think you are that. So in conclusion, you guys, I want to introduce to some and present to others Brother Eric Toure Muhammad, known as the Wealth Minister. Aou.
Thank you, Brother Keith. Ready for Revolution. Greetings, everyone. I want to thank all that came before us. Of course, Sister Tahira and Sister Jazzy, and you heard from Brother Keith. I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share. I'm grateful for the opportunity to prove that what we are offering does work. And we want to do it from that vantage point of what we heard everyone say before us, our ability to think. Our ability to think. I've been wrangling with this notion for the last, I don't know, maybe week or so. But, you know, the question comes up, does the average person think? Now, research confirms that the average person is constantly thinking, generating between 6,000 and 70,000 thoughts per day. However, the quality of these thoughts might not be what you'd expect. Example, these thoughts have repetitive patterns. Estimates suggest that 95% of a person's daily thoughts are exactly the same as the day before. So there's nothing new. Okay. Negativity bias. Roughly 80% of these automatic thoughts tend to be negative. Now, 95% of it is on daily replay or repeat. 80% of that 95% are thoughts that tend to be negative. And then subconscious activity is almost at a nil. About 95% of thinking occurs in the subconscious, meaning people are often unaware of the underlying reasons for their actions. Now, you heard Brother Keith expound a little on paradigms. You're going to learn more about that, and you're going to see the overall effect that it does have on us. And then, of course, the mind wandering. Boy, I strive very hard not to make use of a phone if I can help it, because it is a tremendous distraction. Now, all distractions are equal because they all do the same job. Distract, right? Take us off our post, move us off of our edge. Okay. But when it comes to mind wandering, people spend nearly half their time. Research says 40% of their thinking about something other than what they are currently doing. You find yourself walking aimlessly in jobs, aimlessly in classes, you're in school. You sit and daydream over things that you attend, meetings that you attend, right? You're going to learn why we function like this. And when it comes down to cognitive speed, while the brain gathers sensory data at 1 billion bits per second, the actual speed of deliberate human thought, meaning making decisions or imagining, is surprisingly low, or slow rather, at approximately 10 bits per second. So you'll find that deliberate action is a slow decision generally because we find less charge, less control over our behaviors. Now, this might shock some of you, and some of you might be even offended. But guess what? Most people don't think. Most people don't think. That which I showed you on the previous screen validates that. 2% of people globally actually think, by definition. 3% of people think they think. I want you to understand that. You know, it's 24 hours in a day. We're all living, breathing. Blood circulates from foot, head back to foot, right? Yet and still, 2% of the human family thinks. And 3% of us think we think. So that equals 5%. Guess what? Guess what 95% of the people don't do? Now, I want to ingrain this in you because you're going to see how those numbers translates into everything that's in front of us and what we must do in order to overcome this. Now, the first thing that helps us to overcome this is knowing what do we really want. What do we want, folks? You know, if we were to ask here, what do you want? Some of you came because you want money. Okay. Well, how much do you want? When do you want it by? How often do you want it? See, we have become, by design, wandering generalities as opposed to meaningful specifics. What do you really want? This is generally where the paradigm takes over. Now, I'm going to elaborate a little bit on what Mr. Keith shared. We're also going to move into showing you how the annual income can be every month. I've accomplished this in my life 3 times consciously. And I'm sharing this with you to let you know that it is doable. A paradigm. A paradigm is a mental program that has almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior. And I'm here to tell you that almost all of our behavior is habitual. Almost all of it is habitual. In fact, school gives us valuable knowledge, right? However, school never taught us how to alter our old paradigms. We've already described what paradigms are, but this isn't something that was taught as a class. You've never been a part of an anti-paradigm movement. It's not something that's been shared with you in school or at home at the dinner table or in church or in spiritual centers, houses of worship. Because why? Because we weren't in charge of providing that exclusive control. Someone else provided the paradigm. So, because of this, because we were never taught how to defeat it, how to master it, how to overcome it, how to reset it, we frequently do not do what we already know how to do. And what that translates into, folks, that means we have superior knowledge, but inferior results. That causes confusion and frustration. What we're explaining here is how the mind should absolutely function. What you see on the screen is an actual drawing of the mind. Okay? I mean, the drawing of the mind is simple. Here you have the large circle that represents the mind, and the horizontal line between it is the demarcation. It's the point where the mind is divided into the conscious and into the subconscious. The conscious provides all the intellect. The subconscious is supposed to provide all the dreams and the emotions so that we have a formula or formulae or a stimulus to move forward. And then here is the body. See, when the mind is in full sync, the body will only act out that which the mind has determined, the total mind. It will give us the results. But that's not the case for 95% of us. See, we have the working knowledge, but we're not in control of the behavioral pattern, the paradigm. As a result, there's nothing to pass on for the results that we as a body are intentional over. But we have to be intentional. So now, school gave us valuable knowledge. We already established that. But what happens when that knowledge doesn't filter down, that intellect does not filter down into the space where we dream, where we imagine, where we expand, where we explore, where we grow? What happens when it doesn't get there? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And we find ourselves living primarily off of senses. We're going to dive into that a little bit, but see, the problem is you have no results because superior knowledge, inferior results create confusion and frustration. Now, does this mean that our education is bad? No. Does this mean that the school system tricked us? Well, No, not necessarily. You can't teach what you don't know. Therefore, we frequently do not do what we already know how to do. And this is where we have to take charge. This is where we have to create the life we really want. What is the life you really want? And I'm here to tell you, you don't know. You don't know the life you really want because you are never in control from inception. I mean, think about this. You should be asking yourself right now, what the heck is happening? Where did all this start? Why didn't I know about this? How do I fix it? I already know that what you heard from Brother Keith, from Sister Jazzy, from Sister Tahira, I already know it's messed with your brain. Your mind is scrambling right now because you found relevance in everything they shared, but how did you get here? What the heck is happening? Where did all this start? Why didn't I know about this even before? How do I fix it? It's fixed with a decision, folks. It's fixed with a decision. What do you really want? Now, how do we get to this point? How do we get to that aha moment? How do we get there where we actually know what it is that we want? Well, it happens through this word known as awareness. Now, hopefully you're taking notes and hopefully this will assist you. I'm looking to share with you just a couple of things. Awareness is the state of or quality of being conscious of something, right? That aha, okay? Involving the perception of internal thoughts and feelings of external environmental stimuli. While often used interchangeably with consciousness, awareness typically refers to the specific focus or knowledge within the broader field of experience, right? So, generally speaking, knowledge or understanding that a situation or fact exists, that's awareness. Psychologically, it's the process of perceiving, okay, and cognitively reacting to a condition or an event. Awareness can also be biological. Okay, I'm just running the gamut now. A stimulus responsive state where an organism can detect and respond to its environment. Okay, self awareness, sensory awareness, peripheral awareness, awareness versus consciousness. In many academics, right? In many academic and philosophical contexts, a distinction is made. Consciousness is the broad canvas. It's the skyline, if you will, okay, of the overall state of being awake. But awareness is the spotlight or the specific capacity to notice and register particular processes within that state. Like, okay, you're conscious when you wake up, but you become aware when you specifically notice the sunlight filtering through your curtains, or you specifically look at the alarm clock and see what time it is, right? So you awaken, okay, that's a conscious, broad thing. But awareness is when you look at all the other nuances that are associated with time, condition, energy, and possibly motion. And what I'm saying to you right now in just this brief session with you, you are already positioned to create the life you really want. Now, what does that mean, folks? It means the ability to give yourself a command and follow it. See, that's discipline. That's discipline. But that discipline doesn't come into play if a decision has not been made. Decisions must be made, they must be committed decisions. Now, you're going to come to some decisions that you need to make just through this brief presentation. You might have to quit what you're doing. If you don't really like what you're doing, you are not in harmony with it. And if you're not in harmony or if you're not in sync, then your success is marginal, extremely limited in many respects. Remember, discipline, the ability to give yourself a command and follow it, only comes after a decision is made, and decisions must be committed decisions. Now, We gave you a definition a moment ago about paradigms and what they are. The habitual behavior. Where did that habitual behavior come from? Have you ever noticed that as a child you came into the world that was already doing what you are now possibly doing? We're born into a world, parents had jobs, so therefore we got jobs. We didn't think anything outside of that. Where was the creative tool? Where was our functionality? Where were our dreams? What stopped the dream? Well, let's look at how the paradigm is formed. See, when you come into the world, you heard the saying before, naked you come into the world, naked you go out. Well, look, this is primarily how we come into the world. I showed you the picture of the mind already. Okay. So here you have no consciousness, no intellect happening here. So what's happening now, you are absorbing everything in your environment as a baby. You don't have the intellect developed yet. You're born in the world an open book, or you're born into the world. I like what Brother Keith shared, a book of blank pages, and it's being filled in, but you're not in control of the writing. You're not in control of the construct, as he says, right? So everything that is happening in the baby's environment is going directly into the baby's subconscious mind, and it produces self-image. It produces self-image. Follow me on this. So now, if everything is flowing in without your direction, that means there's no thinking on our part. Now, here's a statistic. If we have not taken charge of the paradigm by age 5, 9 times out of 10, that paradigm will remain for the rest of your life. That's why that 95 percentile of non-thinkers is so relevant and validating. We're not in control of the self-image. Many of us, most of us, have low estimations about ourselves. Okay? Now look, when you have no control over what's fed your mind, that means you don't have a thinking mind. You're not in charge of the thinking. And we rely clearly, solely on sensories, meaning the ability to see, the ability to hear, the ability to smell, taste, touch. See, all that is here. And that's what governs us symptomatically. We react to senses, but we're not thinking. All thinking is blocked because to see right now, that's recent. That's a recent result. To hear is a recent result. Smell, taste, touch, these are recent results. These are things that happen in front of you. They are physical. They do nothing for the intellect. They don't feed the emotional. They don't feed the subconscious. So we just live as the wandering generality. We live in today, but it's right. We're not living in today. We're just existing in today. Now, this is the construct of the paradigm. The paradigm of babies, the paradigm of us as children, is in charge of the thoughts that we have. And the problem with that is if we don't find a way generally to overcome them, to rewrite it, then we only live an existence. And an existence is that which just occupies present results. It just deals with present results. There's nothing for you to grow from and grow to. How does this affect you in money? How does this affect your ability to earn your annual income every month? It has everything to do with it. It has everything to do with it because you can't think beyond it because you are not thinking. We are not thinkers. How does this affect, or how does this lack affect your money health? Let me tell you right out the gate, folks. When you permit your present results to control your thoughts, your income cannot improve. You can't think beyond where you are if you're not in control of the paradigm, if you're not in control of the habitual behavior. It has to be chiseled away at. And if we are 30, 35, 40, 50, 60, 70, some of us are 90 years old on this platform. And we should be further along than we are, generally speaking. But because we haven't done anything in significance to impact the habitual behaviors that we've lived all of those years, then our limits, our incomes, our health, our wealth being, they can't improve because we submitted to the power or the defeatedness of lack. Now, I'm going to show you how this is supposed to work. I'm going to show you how the mind is designed to work and how you can take advantage of it today. Listen, we already established that the conscious mind is the intellectual mind, right? Okay, this is a finite space that primarily handles all the seeing, hearing, smelling, taste, and touch. All right. But in this space, we're supposed to be fed a knowledge that allows us to rewrite the script of the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is controlled through perception, will, memory, imagination, reason, intuition. And then here's the other thing is it does not have the ability to reject. So whatever you are consciously speaking to your subconscious mind is going to agree with you. So if you constantly speak lack, subconscious is going to agree with you. And it's going to sit there and wait for you to come up with something else to stimulate it into action. If you always say to yourself, I need money, then you'll always need money. Why? Because you're not stimulating anything else significant to allow you to go out and get it. It's not specific. We're wondering generalities. I can say right now, man, I need some money. You walk out in the street and find a coin on the ground. Well, that's been answered. So our ability to measure, to manage, the job of the conscious is to make the subconscious aware of conscious activity. What should our conscious activity be? You see, and when this is all connected, then you as the body, we as the body instrument, we can operate towards our results. Now think about this now. The subconscious is made of everything in that green box there. Perception, will, memory, imagination, reason, intuition. You can't unhear what you heard. You can't unsee what you've seen. That's the power of the subconscious mind. And it's just waiting for you to consciously come up with a goal that triggers all the formulas in the subconscious mind to move into action so you can make things work. Now, we have a system here that we were taught by the great Bob Proctor. And the system is known as upside down, inside out. How do you reprogram ourselves? How do we recalibrate so the conscious mind can engage and build that relationship with the subconscious mind so then we can move on to real, tangible results? Well, first and foremost, we got to know who we are, what we are, and how we function. Folks, we are spiritual beings. I'm a spiritual being. Say that to yourself. I am a spiritual being, right? This body is a vessel. The clothes I wear, the physical that you see of me, these are finite structures, but the spiritual centeredness of us lives way beyond the physical vessel, right? So think about this now. When you are in charge of yourself as a spiritual being, then it positions you to think of those things that are beyond the current, beyond the recent, beyond the finite of the body. What can you envision? What can you imagine? What kind of ideas do you have? See, now that that's being fed, it's now moving into dreams. It's moving you into dreams. It's moving you into the emotion. You're connecting the relationship so that your body now can be that instrument that moves things forward. It's all energy. I know some of us are tired. I was on early with the team, and I expressed at that particular moment how tired I was. I couldn't believe it. It was short lived because all it took was being around each other. Why? When you say you don't have the energy, all we are is energy. Do you ever think about that? All we are is energy. We don't get the energy, we give energy. So you're a spiritual being, right? When when you are encouraged to flow with ideas and those ideas produce the thinking that's required, then it produces the ability to dream and emotionally connect with your goals, your objectives. And then it allows you as a full body to move forward. And what happens when you move forward? It produces the results. This, folks, is the upside down, inside out. Remember, we are a mass of energy designed to function with determination, with sense of purpose. All right. When you look at what we are, I am a spiritual being. Say that to yourself because that which you're learning today has instilled the fact that you have intellect. And it's that intellect that is now moving you closer towards the power of your dreams. What do you want for yourself? What did you envision for yourself? And you can't say you've always been like this. That's preposterous. It's like saying some of us are right now are working and can't wait to retire. I've always wanted to retire. No, you didn't. What did you want to do at 3 years old, 5 years old, 12 years old? How many of you can recall growing up playing with dolls or blocks or cars and you wanted to be a race car driver, or you wanted to be a ballerina, or you wanted to be a dancer, right? You wanted to be these things. What happened? Society and the environment that captured us. So as a result, education with no connection emotionally resulted in us doing what everybody's already doing. I was born into the world, parents had jobs, grandparents had jobs, I got a job. Where's the residualness? Where's the wealth being of your existence? It's not there because you're not alive. We're not alive, we just exist. So when you operate out of upside down, inside out, your thoughts become ideas and your ideas become the things. And we've already established how this all began, right? Now, I'm going to say to us again, when you permit your present results to control your thoughts, your income cannot improve. How do you get your annual earned every month? Some of you think you're doing okay. You're making $200,000 a year, $500,000 a year. And you know why you're only making $500,000 a year? It's because you never knew how to make it every month. That's all. That's all. But you're going to learn today because in order for things to happen, other things have to be removed. I want to introduce this law to you. This is the vacuum law of prosperity. This is the actual universal law. The vacuum law of prosperity is a principle of manifestation and personal growth, stating that you must first release what you no longer want or need to create space for what you do desire. It is based on the idea that nature abhors a vacuum, meaning when you create an empty space, the universe will naturally rush to fill it. It's true. See, if you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you've always gotten. That's just a fact. So here you are today, and your same results, your starting points are yours. It creates thoughts, it creates feelings, it creates actions, but it brings you back to the same point because if you've always done what you're doing, then you will always get what you got. When you permit your present results to control your thoughts, your income cannot improve. And this is why we're able to say from wish to winning, we can show you and help you do just that. Now, there's magic in what I call the mind hacks. Okay. This is like magic. If you do the math repetitiously, you reprogram your paradigm. I, I travel with calculators. Calculators stay in my pocket, my jacket pocket, pants pocket. It'll be in my bags I'm carrying, my backpack. Just yesterday or earlier this morning, my wife tossed one of the calculators to me, to my chest and said, "Stop coming to bed with your toys," right? Because I utilize calculators. Why? Because the calculator, you can break down whatever you want in the simplest of form to get what it is that you need, to make it palatable, make it doable. So, what's a millionaire math? When you say you need money, let's say if you're looking for $1 million. Well, look at your current existence. If you're earning $50,000 a year, it takes 20 years on that job to get $1 million. Now you generated it for others, but getting it for yourself, that's a whole nother animal. If you're earning $100,000 a year, you need 10 years on that job. 250,000, you need 4 years on that job. We can show you how to earn 114. This is exact science, folks. You can earn $114 per hour every hour of the year when you provide products, when you provide subscriptions. I mean, think about this. I play with the calculator every day because the only power it has is to calculate. And what it does, it expands your imagination. It truly does. And we show you some of those ideas and objectives and how it can be done. But again, it's about that upside down, inside out. We have to take control. We must create and control our paradigm. We're talking about prosperity, folks. It's a prosperity conscious. It's prosperity consciousness. It requires abundance focus. It requires action orientation. It requires emotional connects and being responsible to ourselves. There's nothing wrong with being prosperous. There's nothing wrong with prosperity. There's nothing wrong with earning an income that meets you in your goals, in your desires. It's about be, do, have, and give. Now, we did promise you something here, and we're going to give it to you, but I just want to share this with you about that vacuum loss prosperity. Old habits have to go, folks. The paradigm will try to keep you stuck and shackled to your current circumstances. In order to make significant change and progress, you have to make a committed decision, followed by action, and the reward will be living the life you previously only dreamt about. You have to see yourself as being worthy. Now, remember, I talked about how the 95% of us don't think. I'm going to show you what that really looks like. The great Earl Nightingale said that most people think they want more money than they really do, and they settle for a lot less than they could have. I want you to process that. Now, my mentor for life, Dr. Tyrone Best, taught me, he said, do you want to be free? Do you want to be rich? Do you want to be wealthy? Then you look at what everybody else in the world is doing and do the straight up opposite, and you'll be flat out rich. Now, Bob Proctor introduced this strategy for earning incomes M1, M2, and M3. Now, this is not strategy, this is just observation, okay? But this is what people do. Now, M1 is where 96% of the world is. We sell our time for money. Now, if that's what you know, that's what you know, right? But there has to come a point where you realize that you can't do that forever. You can't maintain the employment forever. You can't maintain owning the job forever. At some point, a shift has to be made. Selling time for money means that you did not give money a job. If you have to work, if you have to open a business where you own the job, that means your money's not employed. 96% of the people are on this M1 level, Mr. Proctor says. 3% of the people are at M2. M2 is money making money, putting your money to work. Allow your money to go around the block, around the corner, the street, across the borders. Allowing your money to dab into those areas where it's invited and allow it to stay where it's welcome. Put money to work. That's what 3% of the population does. But you see that 1% here? 1% of the population is the wealthiest of the classes. And what happens here is you multiply your multiple streams, right? Multiple sources of income over time. Now you can't jumpstart to one without the other. You literally, this is literal progression. This is a mind hack. These are the 3 income earning strategies. I mean, think about this now. 1% of the population has multiple sources of income, and that's what helps to facilitate their wealth. 3% of the population is putting money to work. And between that 1 and 3%, that's 4%, folks. That's 4% of the total population. You're talking about 8 billion people nearly on the planet, and 96% of them are selling time, the most valuable of all assets, selling time for money. Now, we talked to you about upside down, inside out. This strategy allows you to build multiple sources of income. It allows you to function as your own bank. We have a way to make those things happen for you, but I want to close with this poem. You might want to screenshot it if you're in position. Every choice has a cost. Not choosing is still choosing. Staying safe costs growth. Taking risks costs comforts. Doing nothing costs you dreams. Life will take something from you no matter what. Your time, energy, courage. You can't escape paying some kind of price, but you get to choose what you are paying for. So the question is, what matters enough to risk for? What's worth your fear, your effort, your heart? You're going to pay either way, for the pain of staying the same or the pain of changing it. If you have to pay anyway, pay for something that matters. The one you want, make your pain worth something. Now, folks, I'm just asking you can answer to yourself, but would you agree that having an understanding of how money is earned, how money works, will improve virtually every area of your life? How about integrating this information into your life on a consistent basis? Do you believe it will help you generate confidence, create clarity, and unlock your true potential? I'll take it a step further. Would you agree that this brief presentation is time well spent? That you already feel your confidence growing? I already know your awareness has been touched. When presented with a better and easier way, do you keep doing what you're doing? Or do you change your approach? That's a decision, isn't it? Well, we have a special offer. So you can get everything you need to know to start getting rich. And if you act fast, we're going to give you a special deal, right? I'm certain this was the information we covered today. Left on your own with your own resources, time and effort, you can set and reach some very interesting goals. Already know that. And if that were your only option, it would be a worthy ideal to pursue. I submit to that. But what if there was another option? An option that allowed us to go at this together. A chance to go deeper than we can in one short webinar connecting together just this one time. What if we, from Wish to Winning Coaching Club, played an active role in your success and had an obligation to your outcome? How would that make things different for you? Do you think in that situation we could empower you with any and all resources at our disposal to stack the deck in your favor to make success all but inevitable? Now, what we offer, what we have works for entrepreneurs. It works for the everyday rank and file of the human being. It works for sales online, retail sales, car sales, the educated and the undereducated. Anyone with a desire to learn the secret science of getting rich, building your wealth, those things happen here. What if you could immediately start earning a growing six-figure income while following the path to seven figures? How much would you pay acquire the same skills and mindset as someone who is pulling in multiple eight figures per year? Folks, we have a special offer. I want you to hear us. We have a 12-month course that launches on the 1st of April. $1,600, $1,670. That cost provides 12 months of video, audio trainings, workbooks, one-on-one sessions, group chats, and special event access. And it comes at a discount. It's a discounted cost. It's $1,670 with 2 months of saving, totaling a $338 in savings. We also have it month to month, a la carte service, if you will, where you just paid monthly $167 a month. But for now, and this offer ends March 31st, you can take advantage of 3 months of Wish to Winning Coaching Club as a trial subscription with a payment deadline of March 31st. This $97 trial course covers 3 months of video, audio training, workbooks, and group chats. You're going to see how your mind can expand and how you can take immediate action. Now, again, the offer ends, it will end March 31st. A $97 offer that can literally, within 3 months, change your entire existence. Now, if this resonated with you, if you find any value in it, then simply just go to your email, put in the message club, and email it to thewealthminister@gmail.com. If you're interested, all you got to do is put the message club in an email to thewealthminister@gmail.com, and you get all the particulars on how you can get started right away. There's some other nuances to this, other benefits, other incentives that we're not going to take liberty to mention here. Get through the door. Okay. Now, we did promise you something, folks. What we promised is the instant income option. We're going to show you how you can literally secure and achieve annual income monthly through one of the tools that we introduce. The little known strategy the smartest new millionaires are using to become their own bank. I'm going to introduce to some and present to others Mr. Greg Baldwin, founder, CEO of Mosca. You're about to discover from him how to receive perpetual and sustainable funding. Now, this is a gentleman who has had much success. Over the past 9 years in particular, he has built and led international organizations, earning him multiple seven-figure incomes. In 2021, because of his leadership, he was hired on as a head of marketing and field development for an international company that did, under his leadership, over $75 million in revenue during his tenure. But here's the thing. January of last year, January 1st, we pre-launched what you're about to see. Now we're more than a year in with more than 1 million deposits, million transactions rather, in our coffers. In January 2025, his firm believed that technological innovation should benefit humanity and not just a few wealthy investors. This led him and the team to launch a decentralized funding platform powered by blockchain technology, smart contract information, and artificial intelligence. It's the disruptor. It's a disruptive 21st century funding solution that makes all existing models in the space obsolete. So brace yourselves. I'm going to get out the way and make room for Mr. Gregory Baldwin.
We get started, guests, I want you to really do something for us real quickly, because this meeting is about being intentional. And we just want you to answer these questions, because by you answering these questions, it's going to really help you understand how Mosca is going to be an incredible fit for you, or any kind of residual cash flow solution that you're after. You see, question number one is how much money would help you at the end of every month. You need to know what that is, okay? How much money would you need to cover your current monthly bills and or obligations? How much monthly cash flow would allow you to fire your boss and have 7 days of Saturday if that's a position that you're in? And number four, if you're a church or a charity, how much monthly funding would help further your mission if you're a church, charity, or a nonprofit? Because what we're getting ready to do is we're getting ready to reveal to you a very profound, real use case whereby we're utilizing today's modern technology to help you achieve that number in as little as 10 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to show you how to do that without any hype or any speculation whatsoever. So having said that, allow me to introduce you guys to Mosca. And Mosca is an acronym for my own Strategic Capital Alliance. What we are is a financial technology platform, and we're member owned and controlled. And we're utilizing modern day technology in such a way that we're unleashing the power of perpetual and sustainable funding that's 100% mutually beneficial. And so allow me to unpack what I mean by perpetual and 100% mutually beneficial. When we're talking about perpetual funding, we're talking about like residual, never ending and ongoing. And as it relates to 100% mutual benefit, that means that everyone has the exact same thing to gain. Whether you're an individual, church, charity, or a nonprofit, this behaves the exact same way for everyone, and everyone's required to do the exact same thing. And the reason why we're able to do this is because we are powered by blockchain technology and smart contract automation. Now, I'm not going to go deep in the weeds there, but understand this. Everything in the financial hemisphere is going on the blockchain. It's the new financial rails, whether it's banking, whether it's real estate transactions, medical records, supply chains, everything is going on these new financial rails. Smart contract automation speaks to artificial intelligence, and this is a digital contract that sits on the blockchain and self-executes on its own when the predetermined terms and conditions have been met. And I'm going to share what those predetermined terms and conditions are here in just a moment. But let me show you guys how this actually works. What's going to end up happening is that as a member of Mosca, all of our members are going to be onboarded to the smart contract with their own self-custody wallet. So your inviter is going to actually pay for you to get onboarded to the smart contract. Now, it's very, very important to understand this self-custody wallet is yours. You have the private keys to this wallet. No one else has access to this wallet. It is 100% willable, sellable. You can give it away. It is yours. Unlike having an account, let's say at a bank or anything like that, that's not your wallet. It's the bank's wallet. That's why they can dictate how much you can take out on a daily basis, or even deplatform you if they so choose. So it's very, very important to understand that you have 100% access to your money. And your wallet is going to be connected with a one-time out-of-pocket to the smart contract. We call it like an empowerment fund. It's actually like a crowdfund 3.0. And what we're doing basically is we're reshaping the funding platforms all around the world, creating a new model, if you will, that's going to make all the existing models obsolete. Once again, this is for churches, charities, nonprofits, and individuals. And by doing a one-time out-of-pocket in contribution to the smart contract, which is going to self-execute, you're going to be able to put yourself in the flow of perpetual residual funding from this day forward. So it kind of behaves like a ripple effect, if you will, as everyone's doing a one-time contribution. And we're going to show you how we're able to turn givers into receivers on an ongoing residual basis at scale. So let me do this for you real quickly to give you more of a visual of what we're talking about here. I'm going to play a short video, and I want all the guests to pay attention to this video. It's going to help you understand how Mosca behaves, how our smart contract behaves, and how the blockchain is facilitating all of this new funding, if you will. So let me go ahead and play this for you.
At the heart of this model is a digital wallet enabled through the Mosca platform. Mosca provides the infrastructure that allows sustainable funding to function reliably, transparently, and at scale. This isn't about hype or speculation, it's about trust. And that trust is built using three key components. Firstly, smart contracts. A smart contract is a self-executing digital agreement. Once it's activated, it does exactly what it's programmed to do, automatically. Funds move immediately to their intended destinations. It cannot be altered, it cannot be delayed, and it cannot be manipulated. There's no human handling, no bias, no guesswork. Everything runs exactly as agreed. Now, secondly, we got AI automation. Intelligent systems manage distribution, tracking, and reporting. This removes human error and dramatically reduces administrative burdens. No manual processing, no spreadsheets. That's a godsend because I love spreadsheets, but I hate it when everything is needed to be recorded like that. No chasing payments. The system does the heavy lifting in the background so organizations can focus on their mission. And third, decentralized blockchain technology. This provides security and transparency without relying on a central authority. Every transaction is recorded, traceable, and protected. Nothing can be quietly changed after the fact. Nothing can be hidden. In simple terms, AI manages the logic, smart contracts execute the rules, and the blockchain guarantees fairness and transparency. Together, they create a system that is tamper-proof, automated, and trusted. This is what allows support to flow every 28 days, predictably, reliably, and without friction.
Absolutely, you guys. So let me go ahead and break down how this works. I'm going to share with you guys a 10-week intentional funding solution. I will tell you that Mosca pre-launched in January of 2025, and we officially launched in January of 2026, just this year. We have successfully done over 1 million transactions. The smart contract is the star of the show. It operates without any errors. It doesn't ask for a vacation. It doesn't call in sick. Okay, it works 365 days out of the year. And so I'm getting ready to show you guys a 10-week intentional funding solution. So I want to encourage all the guests to really pull in here. And this works for charities, churches, individuals, and families with 100% mutual benefit, with emphasis on intentional, meaning we're doing this on purpose without any gambling or any guesswork whatsoever. I want you to really think about the power of that. Now, as I get ready to proceed, I want the guests to also take into account that 10 weeks is going to come and go anyway, God willing. And if you continue to do what you've been doing, you already know what 10 weeks is going to look like from today. But if you take what I'm sharing with you seriously, and more importantly, literally, and you execute, your life can be drastically different as a consequence of this moment in time and the information that we're getting ready to share with you. So having said that, let's jump right into it. So how does this work? So in the very first week, the first thing that you're going to do is there's two ways in which you can get started. There's $225 at the citizen level plus blockchain fees. And then there's $525 plus blockchain fees at the enterprise level that you're going to apply to the smart contract just one time. For the sake of this example, we're only going to talk about the enterprise level at $525 plus blockchain fees. And the reason why is because it's the best value for your time, energy, and money. So you're going to apply that to the smart contract just one time. Then the second thing you're going to do is you're going to simply identify and connect 3 of your friends to the smart contract automation one time. In other words, you're simply looking to identify and help 3 friends, 3 charities, 3 churches who are interested in perpetual residual funding at scale. whether it's to pay off a mortgage, whether it's for a building fund, whether it's to help with cancer research, it doesn't matter. It behaves the exact same way. So everyone's in need of residual funding. They just don't know about MOSCA yet. Once you've done these two things right here, you are done, ladies and gentlemen. The smart contract will go to work for you after that. And let me show you what happens. You're going to receive $149 in perpetual or residual funding. Plus, you're going to receive $75 in donations or bonuses, totaling $224 that's instantly deposited into your very own self-custody wallet that only you have access to. Keep that in mind, okay? It's almost like behaving like your own bank. So now you're done. Let's go to week number 2. In week number 2, your friends are going to simply duplicate and connect 3 of their friends to the smart contract automation within 1 week. Just how many times? Just 1 time. And what's going to happen is that they're going to receive $149 in perpetual funding plus $75 in donations or bonuses. But look, here's where the magic happens. You're going to be escalated up to $173 in perpetual residual funding plus $225 in donations and or bonuses, and you had nothing to do with those connections. I want all the guests to really pull in here because this is where you begin to experience the magic of AI and smart contract automation on the blockchain. So you're talking about $249 passively deposited into your very own self-custody wallet, and you had nothing to do with those connections. Make sense so far? Let's take it to week number 3. Your friends' friends are going to continue to duplicate, and they're going to connect 3 friends each to the smart contract automation. How many times? Just 1 time ever. And what's going to happen is your friends, they're going to receive $149 in residual funding each. And now your 3 friends each, they experience the power and the magic of smart contract automation as they were escalated up to $173 in perpetual residual funding, having nothing to do with those connections. And you were instantly escalated up to $328 per month residual funding, plus you're going to get an additional $675 in donations or bonuses. So that's another $830 passively deposited into your very own self-custody wallet. So guess what I want you to really see here is that you're looking not only at a pattern, but a perfect pattern, because your friends are receiving automated residual support too. Hopefully this makes sense. And what we're doing is we're showing you raw numbers. We didn't want to have percentages. We want to eliminate all guesswork. This has been baked into the smart contract, and once it's deployed, it cannot be changed or manipulated. Make sense? Now, let's go to week number 4. Your cooperative continues to grow, and your friends, they begin to experience the power of smart contract automation because now they're at $173 per month in residual funding, and they had nothing to do with those connections. Your 3 friends each are now sitting at $328 per month in perpetual funding. And you are now at $793 in residual funding, plus you're going to get an additional $2,025 in donations. And once again, you had nothing to do with those connections. You were done 3 weeks ago. So think about that. So that's an additional $2,490 passively deposited into your very own self-custody wallet that I have to reiterate once again. Please don't lose sight of this, that only you have access to the money. Now, at this point in time, your 28-day, $127 subscription at the enterprise level is automatically deducted by the smart contract from the $3,793 in total direct deposits that you've received to this point. Now, you may be asking, well, what's the $127 subscription per month for? Well, I'm glad that you asked. First and foremost, we have a team of developers that maintains the security and the running of the platform. Our head developers here in the United States, we have one in Ghana and we have one in India as well. The second thing is that we have customer service and support. And then the third reason is that the subscription, this ensures the perpetual and the sustainable nature of the cash flow and the funding that individuals, churches, and charities are after. Hopefully this makes sense. So now that you understand how this works, let's take it in week number 5. Your friends are now at $328 per month in perpetual funding each. Your 3 friends are sitting at $793 in perpetual residual funding, each of them. And you're now at $2,191 in residual funding, 5 weeks in from a one-time out-of-pocket and a one-time execution. So now at this moment in time, some of you can begin to experience some financial relief, but it doesn't stop there. Your residual funding is going to start growing exponentially and dramatically. Check out what happens by week 6 as everyone's required to do the one-time execution. Your friends are now sitting at $793 per month in residual funding each. Your 3 friends each are at $2,191 in perpetual funding, right? And you're now sitting at $6,383 per month in residual funding. So think about that. For many of you, this can cover a major monthly obligation or several monthly bills. For others of you, it may be to replace your full-time income where you're already exchanging 40 plus hours a week, and you're now receiving more in passive residual funding than in your full-time job. So now you have absolute time for money freedom. But your wallet and your residual funding are still growing, because look what happens by week 7. Your friends are now sitting at $2,191 per month, each in perpetual funding. Your 3 friends each are now at $6,383 per month in perpetual funding, just like you were the week before. And you're now at $12,670 per month in residual funding. I want you to really think about the power of that. That's in 7 weeks. Now, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, that already puts you in the top 10% of monthly income earners, just 7 weeks in from a one-time contribution to smart contract automation and identifying and helping 3 friends that want the same benefit and solution. Think about that. Or if you're a church or a charity, with an additional $12,670 per month coming in passively and residually, help your passion project or your mission. You bet it would. But your wallet and your perpetual funding are still growing. Look what happens by week 8. Your friends are now sitting at $6,383 per month in residual funding, each of them. Your 3 friends are now at $12,670 per month in perpetual funding, each. And you're now sitting at $31,533 per month in residual funding. Let that sink in. This is just 8 weeks in. And again, your friends are just 1 week behind you in residual funding, and their friends are 1 week behind them. See, this is how we've designed our smart contract, whereby all of our member owners can receive the promise of it without campaign prejudice. So what do I mean by campaign prejudice? It means this. Let's just say some people don't even understand that traditional crowdfunding platforms like GoFundMe and Indiegogo, over 50% of people never reach their crowdfunding goals. And the reason why is because of campaign prejudice. Some people may want to donate to digging wells in a remote village to help people with clean running water, right? You may have some other people that want to help homeless people, feed the homeless. You may have others that want to go ahead and donate to cancer research, right? Then you may have some people that may want to donate to a cause bigger than themselves, but they can't afford to do so. Well, MOSCA's taken all of that into consideration because we're also helping, givers become receivers of residual funding as well for their own personal causes without prejudice, because everyone's in need of perpetual funding. So now your supporters are not withdrawing their support because they're receiving support on a residual basis too. Think about that, right? Once again, these numbers are baked into the smart contract. Now let's take it to week number 9. Your friends are sitting at $12,670 per month in residual funding, each of them. Your 3 friends each are at $31,533 per month in perpetual funding, and you're now sitting at $88,122 per month in residual funding. And we're talking about doing this on purpose and intentionally. Once again, there's no guesswork here. There's no gambling. What we're simply doing is we're connecting these digital assets all around the world, doing the plumbing. We get to own the track without betting on the horses, ladies and gentlemen. Think about it. But let me remind you, you have not connected anyone else personally to the smart contract since week number 1. So understand this. Mosca is an experience to be had, and it's not a problem to be solved. All right. Many people will do themselves a grave disservice outsmarting and outthinking themselves. This thing behaves as advertised. We're being intentional here, right? So let's take it to week number 10. Your friends each are at $31,533 per month in perpetual residual funding on purpose. Your 3 friends each are at $88,122 per month in residual funding, ladies and gentlemen. Each of them. And you're now sitting at $597,420 per month in residual funding. Now, let that sink in just for a moment. For many of you, you can really take a deep breath at this moment in time because you're now debt-free, stress-free, and financially free. Now, let's go ahead and summarize what you just looked at. Think about this for a moment, all right? This is paint by number simple. In week 1, you just connected 3 friends, churches, or charities to the smart contract, and you received $149 per month in perpetual funding. But during the last 9 weeks in this example that I'm sharing with you, you have not done anything more personally, but you're now at a residual funding level of $597,420 per month in residual funding. Think about that. But it gets even better than that because I want to take it to week number 11. Because now, what's even better, your 3 friends, church, or charity are now also debt-free, stress-free, and financially free because they're sitting at $597,420 per month in residual funding on purpose. Let that sink in. So what this is demonstrating to all of you that are looking at this is 100% mutual benefit. So Mosca is a brand new model that is making all existing models in the funding space obsolete. No different than what Uber did to the taxi cab industry or Airbnb did to the hotel and hospitality industry. Mosca is disrupting the funding industry as well. But it gets even better because we're going to take it to week number 12. What's even best of all is your friends or churches and charities are now debt-free, stress-free, and financially free. Not only demonstrating 100% mutual benefit, but this is also demonstrating that this is 100% a choice and not a chance. This is intentional. So once again, the smart contract is doing all the heavy lifting in the background. See, we're not leveraging people, we're leveraging technology, and we're showing average everyday people how to put a one-time out-of-pocket to work to employ their money, and the smart contract will recycle that one-time effort into perpetuity. It won't call in sick, it won't ask for a vacation, it works 24/7. So I want all the guests to look at this screen right here, because this is why you were invited to look at this. Remember that I invited you. This is the vision that they saw. They saw not only a way for them to become stress-free and debt-free, they saw a perfect way for you, even your friends, to become stress-free and debt-free as well. Make sense? So money like water flows to those who build channels, and we've done just that with perfection. So when revenue grows in Mosca, everyone grows when revenue flows inside of the Mosca ecosystem. This is how it behaves, ladies and gentlemen. And so once again, this is an experience to be had. It's not a problem to be solved. We've already solved the major problem that churches and charities and individuals are dealing with, and that's a lack of residual funding. Make sense? So your Citizen Wallet, you're able to manage your money easily and securely and withdraw your funds on a daily basis, several times a day if you so choose. This is about ownership, and only you have access to it. The other beautiful thing is that you're able to send and or receive money, Citizen Wallet to Citizen Wallet, anywhere in the world in 1/10 of a second. Think about that. So what we're doing is we're creating social and financial impact all around the world. Let me play this short video that's going to demonstrate how simple it is to withdraw your money from the Mosca platform.
So guys, look here. So you guys know I'm big on withdrawing and having access to your money. Okay. So this is my account. All right. It's my account here. And so look, I'm withdrawing right now $500. Okay. $500. And whoever my inviter is and their inviter, they're going to receive micro deposits. Okay. A percentage of me withdrawing money. So I'm making a transaction. They have nothing to do with this transaction, but because they invited me, right, they're going to receive a deposit from me making this withdrawal, and their inviter is going to receive. So see, we receive deposits from transactions that also happen in the ecosystem. So I'm going to come down here and continue. I want you to see how fast this is. Okay. Let me do this too. Now I want you to see where my MetaMask is right now. Let me go to MetaMask. See right now, well, that's on the wrong network there. Let me get on the right network. Okay. As you guys can see right now, it is 9:56 in my MetaMask. I want you to see how fast this gets to MetaMask. So I'm going to hit continue on MetaMask. See, it's withdrawing. It's bringing up my MetaMask. Look. How fast that is. You receive, I could confirm right here. Your transaction is complete. Folks, it's within seconds. Close extension. All right, see, I got the confirmation there. And let me go back to MetaMask here. And we should see, look at that. Boom. My money. My money. Because it's in my MetaMask. That's my decentralized wallet. Only I have access. So your MetaMask decentralized wallet is connected to Mosca. And when you withdraw your money, folks, you can spend it like you want. Okay? And understand, even though it's money I'm able to withdraw, the money I just withdrew, I would say within about a few days or so or a week, that same money I just withdrew is going to be back in my account because I receive residually. I need you to hear what I just said. That same money, if not more, is going to be back into my back office as if the money never left. Let me say that again. I'm about to go in here and do another withdrawal, but this money, within days to maybe just about a week, this same money is going to be back in my account because of the residual component. Because I'm a revenue sharing owner. All right, guys, so look, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do withdrawal number 2. I'm coming right back again. Now, you guys just saw me. I'm still in my account. There's my name. Okay? You see I'm at 593, right? So watch, I'm going to come down here. I'm going to move MetaMask out of the way. So you see it says 593. Just want you guys to see that. So I'm coming here. I'm going to withdraw another 500. Okay? I'm going to withdraw another $500, all right? So I'm going to hit continue. And look, it says withdrawing, it connects to my MetaMask, that's connected to the system. Look, it says I'm withdrawing $500. Okay, again, I'm going to click confirm. And it goes to this thing. Look how fast that is, guys. Look how fast that is. No waiting. Okay? No waiting on a pending. There's a confirmation, right? Come back to my MetaMask here. It should be over $1,000.
Absolutely. Fantastic. And so here's a screenshot of your back office that you're also going to receive once you get started with Mosca. We have a Web3 state-of-the-art back office that keeps track of all of your transactions. You even be able to click on every transaction and see it's verifiable on chain as well. Let me also share this with you guys is that we have, training and support. We're going to drown you in training and support as well. And I just want to share this with all the guests as we get ready to wrap this up, because this is an absolute no-brainer here, and that this is not a fantasy whatsoever. This is all about automated rules that's governed by the smart contract and a predictable flow that runs on these new blockchain rails. And it only requires 2 steps to really get this ball rolling, and that's required for everyone that gets involved, okay? You're going to see here on the side of your screen, if you have your smartphone, you can scan this QR code on the left-hand side, and it's going to take you to a PDF, and it's going to educate you on the power of the network effect. And it's also going to give you an opportunity to take a second look at this as well. It'll break down the citizen as well as the enterprise level so that you can, do a deeper dive in what it is that we have. And so people may ask, well, so what's the product or service? It's no different than Indiegogo or GoFundMe. They're a platform and they connect people that need funding with those that will supply the funding. We're no different except we're better, because what's going to also happen is you're going to have an equity ownership position in the growth of the platform from this day forward. So it's really decision time at this moment in time, whether you're 1, 2, or 3. If you're number 1, let me be the first to welcome you, because you're saying to yourself that this is a no-brainer whatsoever. I'm ready to be intentional. You know that 10 weeks is going to come and go anyway, so why not go for it, right? So you're going to get back with your inviter, and your inviter is going to send you an email from their back office, all right? And they're going to get you scheduled with one of our certified onboarders. That's going to get you connected with your MetaMask, and everything is done for you. We're going to give you the white glove treatment. Or you may be a number 2. And you may have a couple of questions and you're saying, well, if I can get these questions answered, then I'll be ready to rock and roll. Please get back with your inviter. They'll make sure that you get all of your questions answered. But we want to encourage you to really look at that PDF and dissect it, because some of your questions that you may have will be answered in that PDF. And once again, if you don't have the QR code to scan because you're watching this from your smartphone, you can go to mosca.life and you're able to digest that PDF there. And then person number 3 says, not now. I just don't see how this could help with my personal campaign. We realize that timing is everything, and we wish you nothing but success. And if anything changes, just get back with the person that invited you here. We'll welcome you with open arms, because we're not going anywhere. So we're going to be back here again tomorrow night at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to encourage all the guests to not even have analysis paralysis. I oftentimes tell people, if you want to learn how to swim, you don't study water, right? You have a coach and you jump in the water. And that's how you're going to behave in Mosca. It's an experience to be had. It's not a problem to be solved. And then you're going to simply invite people that you know and love to look at this information just like you did, because if it makes sense to you, it's going to make sense to them, all right? So hopefully you're able to see a vision for yourself. We're very, very excited about sharing this with you. We're going to be back here again tomorrow night at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as we end all of our presentations and trainings, we won't just see you at the top. We look forward to seeing each and every one of you over the top. Take care, everyone, and God bless.
All right. This is Keith Hollins Muhammad. I want to thank each and every one of you guests. You see in the screen before you a QR code. If you can, scan that. If you guys are watching this on a laptop or computer, just check your phone and scan that. If not, and you want to see this again, because it was a lot, but it took me maybe 2 times to see it, but I'm going to give you this right here. You can go and to this website, https://mosca.life. That's mosca.life, and it'll give you a chance to see it in a PDF, so you can see it in over and over. And also, all who attended will receive a copy of this, a recording of this. Mosca and the Predictable Success Formula, it provides instant about quitting life. Okay, it's about reclaiming it. Once you're free from money pressure, you can work on what matters most. Spend time with people you love, pursue projects without profit pressure, invest more in your health, creativity, or your community, and not be confounded about trying to get a loan. Did I qualify? Did we qualify? Life is about the choices that we make. It's not about retiring early. It's about ownership and designing a life where money is no longer the main constraint. Okay, this isn't fun. This isn't fantasy. It's math, discipline, and a system. So, with that, I'd like to say also, if any of you see something that if you're interested in what you saw, you email to the wealthminister@gmail.com and just put in the comments club, or put in the comments Mosca. Again, if you're interested in joining and becoming a part of either Mosca or either the club where we do the seminars, you just send your email to the wealthminister@gmail.com, and put in the comment club, Moscow, or you may be interested in both. So with that said, I want to say thank you all for, enjoying what I know you enjoyed, because when I saw it, it was crazy. But look, with that said, we're going to end this unless the wealth minister has anything else he wants to comment on. If so, come forward. If not, then I want to thank each and every one of the guests. Get back with the ones that invited you and tell them either you're on board and you loved it, and let's get started. With that said, thank you very much. Good evening.